What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Lone Duck's Gun Dog Chronicles. I'm in studio, in the office, the podcast room, the allure of it, with my good friend Trish Jagoda. She's a professional retriever trainer for how long now?
Oh, twice your age.
Yeah, that'd be almost 80.
Let's see, 47, 48 years.
Okay, so older than me.
Yeah.
That's awesome. She's a great friend and comes up to Central New York every summer and is from Virginia.
Virginia.
Very good. And, you know, basically travels all over the country running AKC hunt tests. She's in the last maybe 5 years, you've been an AKC rep as well.
6 or 7 now.
6 or 7 now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So super knowledgeable about our game and all the things that it takes to compete at a high level at our national events, the Master National. Year in, year out, you have an awesome showing. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. Before we get into the show, our theme for the next month and a half to 2 months leading up to hunting season is Dog of a Lifetime. This is stories from you, the listener, stories from our Patreon members that are sending in how they got into the game. And this will be the third one we read, and 2 of them I barely made it through. Just amazing stories that remind us of why we do what we do, why we started doing what we do. And so let me get into it without further ado. This is from Matthew.
Glad you're reading it.
I know it. My first dog was a black lab out of a litter in Georgia that my dad somehow ended up with here in Ohio, honestly by accident. His name was Dakota, and he was with me as a child growing up. An all-around amazing dog, and even more amazing in the field. When Dakota was probably 5, I would have been around 12 years old. So this is a youngster getting into the game, which I love. Mm-hmm. Reminds me of my first dog, Nelson. I used to spend a lot of time training him, but he was already a very established meat dog. He had everything a man needed in a waterfowl dog: drive, grit, and a positive attitude. Wasn't always steady, but he was always there for me when I needed him. When I was young, at about 7 or 8, he retrieved my first duck, and it was banded. Oh, a banded Woody. And I still carry that band today, now 29, almost 30 years in age. Dakota was a dog of dogs. I watched him swim across the river to the opposite bank numerous times, chasing crippled mallards and geese for my buddies and I in high school, half blind and half deaf. He's the sole dog that got me hooked into the dog side of hunting, and now having a successful training kennel, running finished and master tests, and giving people the chance to have that dog that may hook them, or at least be their dream dog. If it wasn't for him, I'm not sure where I'd be today. There's so much to say about it, and I'm trying to keep it short. His last retrieve was with myself and my grandfather, who I sadly lost both around the same time. I'm getting freaking goosebumps. He made a nice triple mark on 3 greenheads. We jumped up, shot out of a half-frozen timber slough off the banks of the Muskegum River, where we spent countless hours and was very fitting for both of us for their last seasons. I wish I could have had that dog now, knowing what I know and learned. There's no doubt he'd have a grand title as well as national plates, but you can't beat what I had in a companion and hunting buddy, especially at such a young age.
Alrighty then.
I know. That's 3 for 3 that teared me up.
Wow.
That reminds me a lot of Buck and I. Like retrieves that I wouldn't send a dog on now. He had the heart to go and do it. Ice flows through a river, sending them after ducks that just we shouldn't have.
In Virginia, we don't even send them out usually if there's ice because we don't have to,
Yeah.
But that's a killer right there.
Matthew, thank you for sharing your story of your dog, Dakota. I appreciate it. Trish, 46, 47 years in the game. Out of all the dogs you've had the pleasure of training, owning, hunt testing, competing with, what dog comes to mind for you?
Well, anyone that really knows me knows that I have my Lacy's. And my first Lacy, would always have to be the dog that comes to mind for me. And even on my webpage, I can't even talk about her. On my webpage, I say in my history section, a good dog can make a mediocre trainer look really good. Mm-hmm. This dog was my very first dog, never knew anything about collar conditioning. Took her to NARA at the time, took her to a 1,000-point dog with NARA, many invitational qualifyings. And she was, to me, the greatest dog ever. I taught her to go get a beer out of the cooler. Those are your special dogs.
Yeah.
Whenever I was forcing dogs, and if I was in the basement and it was cold, I would have toilet paper, paper towels, books, everything in the floor all around me, because every time I said fetch, she was getting something from upstairs and bringing it down to me. So I'd have a pile of stuff everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But just like he just said, when it was time for her to go, she had a very cancer that was the size of my pinky that killed her. Oh. And she couldn't urinate. So they put a catheter in her for me. And they said, when the catheter falls out, they just tacked it, you'll know you need to bring her in. Mm-hmm. I was letting her go to the bathroom on New Year's Eve morning, and it fell out. And I can still remember the feeling of all my guts falling out in the front yard. Yeah. And we had to take her and put her to sleep. So I called my best friend and I said, bring 2 ducks over here. We shot them in the yard, allowed her to get them. And she loved to do this a little bit. Yeah. So I said, you have at it, girlfriend. You take that last bird and do anything you want with it.
That's awesome.
And she did, but she brought it back. And she knew nothing and went out in my arms. And it's something I'll never forget. New Year's Eve, I think of it every New Year's Eve. Yeah. That's my story.
I love it.
Yep, my Lacey.
Well, thanks for sharing it, Matthew.
Sure.
Thanks for sharing yours. Everybody who is tuning in, if you'd like to submit your stories, Kevin's not on the podcast, so I can't remember the email to send it to. It's like loneduckpodcast@gmail.com. Proof check me. Maybe we'll put it in the show notes. So if you'd like to, we may not get to them all, but we're going to try. And they're awesome stories and remind us every time I read them of why we do what we do. So,
oh, yeah.
So thank you. Oh, all right, let's get into the show.
I need a break.
Yeah, they're hard. Yeah, they're hard to read. Because it just jog your memory of all the great stuff we've done and the times we've had. So,
and I could give you 10 of those dogs. Yeah. People say that once in a lifetime dog, and Lacey was to me the once in a lifetime dog. And I feel like I've really been blessed to own West Wind's Bold Tiger. He's a once-in-a-lifetime dog. Yeah. Half the dogs I'm running out there today when we train are my once-in-a-lifetime client dogs that all think they live with me.
Yeah.
They sleep on the bed with me at night, and it's hard to lose any of them.
Yeah, I know it. I haven't, I think I'm in year 12 or 13 now as doing this as a profession. And one of the drawbacks that I talk about or have expressed is the volume, right? It's like doctors who have to tell people they've got cancer, or veterinarians who have to put dogs down all the time. There is a sense of, it's not easy, but it is a little easier as you do it. And the unspoken bond I talk about, the first dog, the Bucks, the Memphises, those dogs are harder and harder for me to come by. Yeah. And we can't own them all sometimes. So you buy one or you raise one and, it'd be better off somewhere else, or it doesn't fit the breeding program, or it just isn't exactly what I want, or has a wonky hip, or you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so it's easier to sell them. And so the bond, I almost get calloused by it a little bit.
Absolutely. I feel like I try to keep them that far away from me in the beginning, right, until I see, are they going to be with me a while? Because even the wonky ones, when you send them home, you get that little tear in your eye when they're driving away.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you weren't able to do your best job with them because maybe they've got a hip or something. I had what I love to call fatheads, but I can say that I've got a lot of them on my truck. I watched one leave from Cooper Black when he got his master hunter at just 2 years old. Wow. And that's a big feat.
Yeah.
And his name was Weller and is Weller. And it just happened. He had a bad hip. And what a star he was. His breeder and everything was crazy over him. I was thinking about breeding him to a fathead that I have personally. And all of this went down the tube because of one thing like that. Yeah. And we were in love with them, and so was everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. That arm's distance until not, right? Like, I love Lizzie. You know, there are dogs that I
I love Lizzie.
I know, she's a good dog. Even though she screwed me at the SRS, whatevs. But yeah, no, there's definitely special ones that you won't ever forget. Ember, the Chesapeake, was one of them too for me. But there is 30 of them out there. And so that, or maybe like I would sell, I don't know, name a dog, JoJo. I wouldn't, but the point is, if it was the right fit, the right home, I mean, we're running a business, it's just harder and harder to come by that once in a lifetime feeling again, the more I do it. And I envy someone like yourself that after 46, 47 years, you still get a tear in your eye.
More than you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people that don't know me well don't realize that I have a tear in my eye almost every day. You know, that commercial about cotton that's on TV, the look, the feel of cotton, and there's puppies.
Yeah.
I cry.
That's awesome. That's so great. She gets teared up about cotton.
Yeah, what can I say?
Yeah. So, all right, let's get into the training. So, one of the things that you do as a business owner and being in the not DC area, but just outside of it, you know, a lot of obedience, a lot of obedience, and so many years of experience building young dogs. So, what we're going to kind of dive into, everybody, is collar conditioning, the process that Trish does to develop a dog before it even becomes a quote unquote gun dog, and how so many people, potentially including myself, that we want to go do the sexy stuff, the marks, the blinds, the get him swimming. How far can my puppy mark? Little Eli out there with his Lizzie puppy. When can we start force fetch? I go, bud, she isn't even 6 months old yet. Just slow down. How far should we do marks today?
Still has her baby teeth.
Yeah. I'm like, just don't rush it. Enjoy the ride. And we've got other things we need to be doing. So I want you to kind of take the time to talk about your process and your thought process behind, all right, we've got a 3-month-old puppy, 4-month-old, 5-month-old, and we'll just assume it's progressing at a normal rate. Take it away.
Wow. Okay, so let's use Tiller as a really good example.
Yeah.
So Tiller is a puppy out of our litter, Louie and Guinness, that are on my truck currently. They're Master National dogs. And we did a litter, and a guy from up here bought the puppy and is ultimately going to go to you. And we're keeping her through her puppyhood. And we're actually doing a little bit of collar conditioning with her for a heel and a sit and a come right now. So the way this dog was started, Cassidy, my assistant, started her. Crating is paramount. Don't ever think you can raise a puppy and put him in your mudroom, because then there won't be no walls left. You know, all your cords for your washing machine and everything will be torn up.
Yep.
But crate train that puppy. Crating is a crib for a baby. You wouldn't think about raising a baby without a crib or something to contain the puppy. I mean, if you can't afford a crib for a baby, have it contained in something really nice that that you can control the baby. And make it clear, you always hear, don't pick that baby up. When it's crying, don't pick it up. It's one of the things that I think people make big mistakes with is they coddle their puppies. So try to teach them from the beginning. You've got a puppy that in essence is like a baby that's coming home from the hospital, okay? You're getting it at 7 weeks old. It's way more capable of learning than a 3-day-old baby is.
Right.
You can begin training right now with that puppy. Don't let it go and be a puppy to the extent that you're making it a shin kicker kid,
Yeah.
So, and that's what we see 5-6 months old. We like to get our obedience dogs. And if you are bringing me a puppy that doesn't even know its name, never heard the word sit or come or here, whatever you use, no, it's never heard no. How are we going to transition that dog well to then give it back to you who doesn't understand that process? And I can tell because people will come with 2 or 3 kids that are running all over the place, can't control the kids, much less the dog. Where are we going with that puppy?
Yeah.
So when you give it back, my concern is always the kids are bad. How are you going to manage this puppy?
Right.
People try, but a good foundation with the puppy is paramount for it becoming a good adult. Mm-hmm. Very much like kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Couldn't agree more.
So when they're 5 months old, what I would like to see is a puppy that understands come because it hasn't been conditioned.
Right.
We know that. Understands sit. Understands things like sit, I put the bowl down. No food yet till I say okay. And then typically what they'll do is give you eye contact then. You build eye contact that way. And then you say, okay, or use their name. Mm-hmm. I tend to use their name a lot because you're going to use their name hunting, in other types of training. So we'll teach that. And then once we get them for obedience, they're ready to go.
Right.
Like the little puppy you're getting has already had a collar on her. Now, that's us doing a collar, okay? Not, the average person at home. I absolutely don't recommend that. Collars are too readily available for people. And then what happens is your dog's terrified of a collar. And collar conditioning is very important. It means something when you say condition. Okay, it's not slapping a collar on a dog and burning them when they don't come. Okay,
right.
You teach them on lower levels to come with a low level and reel them in on a long line, things like that. And once they commit to coming, let it off. And then praise, big praise.
Yeah.
And then they learn that little tickle means, hey, pipe up and listen to what you're doing.
Right.
You can get a puppy trained at between 5 and 6 months old like you've never seen before, already before it goes to a trainer.
Right.
But that's what we do in the beginning.
Right.
And then translate that to gun dog training. Amazing how the just plain good citizen obedience training for us with a sit on a whistle too, we add. If people want double side heeling, we teach that too. All of these things are so easy when you're teaching a puppy that's a blank slate.
Yeah.
So teach all of that before you go in the field.
Yeah.
Many years ago, there was a trainer that I can name that I won't call their name out right now because they're sitting next to me. We were talking about that a long time ago.
Yeah.
In his beginning stages of his career, he would always have a heeling stick up at the line for his medium to finished dogs. And I said, what are you doing? And since then, he's a smart guy. He thought about it. And in training with him now, I don't see a heeling stick unless he's working with a young dog. But all of his master dogs are very controlled the way they should be. And you should never bring a dog to the line when you're working on, let's say, teaching him, we talked about this before, teaching to do a double, teaching things in the field. The phrase I use, Work on what you're working on. So if you're working on teaching this double, school it maybe, teach them how to build it. But if they're not steady at the line, they're not listening to you, they're barking, they're rearing up, they're doing all this, don't be at that line with that dog. Go back and get control.
Yeah.
That's the key to moving forward.
Yeah.
Because you're going to always, I'm telling you, it will bother your training, mess up your training for the rest of your career with that dog.
Yeah. It's the analogy is building a house, right? So you don't have a strong foundation. You got no business putting walls up and a roof on and then furnishing the house with expensive couches and all that stuff. If your foundation sucks, it's going to fall down.
Absolutely.
So taking the time to not do the sexy stuff that is more fun, but really focus on, and I like to balance attitude, right? So, and when we're teaching people on here, you have to remember that there are some dogs that need less to get more. And you need to give more to bring them back down for some dogs, right? Like each dog is an individual. And so I caveat all of it with, we got to train the dog that's in front of us, but you can't let a good foundation slide no matter what.
Absolutely.
So manage a good attitude in training and work ethic in training, but they've got to earn it. They've got to comprehend it. And it has to be taught in a way that, how do I want to say this? How can I expect an animal to do it the way I want them to do it if it isn't ingrained?
And you don't explain it.
Right. It needs to be understood.
So you can't speak in English to them. You have to show them everything. And you can see them understanding it as you're showing them. But the thing, it's kind of like forcing. You don't start out ear pinching them or toe hitch, whatever you're going to do, with a bird.
Right.
What are you going to get from that? A dog that's always fearful of birds or who hates birds out of that, because you're making birds something that is painful to them potentially.
Right.
So you want to start with what I used to always start with. I had one of those big school pencils that didn't have a tip on it.
Yeah.
And I held the eraser. Yeah. And it was, 3 times the size of a number 2 pencil. And I would use that to force with, because that's never going to be in the field with the dog.
Right, right.
And if they hate that pencil from now on, I don't care.
Right.
And then once they start to, the fetch means open your mouth. Once you start to do that, then you can go to the bumper or even go to the dowel from there, and then the bumper, and then the bird. And I don't know anybody that forces a dog on a bird when they won't already open and be willing to do it. Because if you do, you're never going to do anything more with that dog in the field.
Yeah. I actually almost never force on a bird.
The only thing we do really is make sure that they want the bird. Because so many that we get in have never seen a bird, even with the breeder.
Right.
Never seen a bird, never been in water, never been crated, none of that from the breeder. And the puppies that we produce all have what I want to see. If I'm buying a dog from somebody, I want to see a puppy that does XYZ, is crated. We listen to screaming every day until these puppies understand being in a crate is good for you. It's your crate. And then they learn that. Then we put them in a pool. Then we take them to the boat ramp and we play with them. And we teach them everything that they're going to need to know. Then you don't have to do it. Same thing. You progress them from there, but you have to do it. Puppies are not, so many times I get these calls from people that say, I say no and he won't stop. He's biting my daughter's leg or ripping her pants. Well, does a child know the word no when they come home from the hospital? Absolutely not. How do you teach that? I can always remember my mom saying, keep your hand off the coffee table. She was an antique dealer. So we weren't allowed to play in the living room. Jack, if you hear this. So we weren't allowed to play in the living room. You touched that coffee table, your hand was slapped, and the word no came out.
Yeah.
How do you think we learned no?
Right. Yeah.
And so I teach it, and the way you say the word too. No. That's how most people say no.
That's a question mark at the end.
Yeah. Instead of no. And I always say it's like a dart in the wall. You don't have to scream it, but the puppy will perform the way you say your words.
Interesting. Yep.
Come, sit, all of that. If you say it like you mean it, they're going to do it for you better anyway.
Right.
From the beginning. But the foundation to me is the key. And I see it every day in hunt test. We see it at Master Nationals where dogs aren't steady. We just teach sit and stay, and we teach a down, which
Yeah.
all of my dogs down on the honor. And so once they come off the line, most of mine will lay down. They know. You can't tell me dogs don't know it's their last bird.
Right.
So they'll lay down, and I'll just take the bird from them in the down position.
Yeah.
And then if I have to honor somewhere else, they'll get up and walk over, and I don't even say down again. They just hit the ground, and they know.
It is my biggest, I hate teaching down.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh, I got a great way to do it.
It's my least favorite thing to teach.
I don't ask it.
Yeah, I get you.
So you just take your foot, and I'm not saying jerk their neck off, but you have to do it in a kind way. Just to have your snap, take your foot, and where your lead comes off of there, just take your foot and push them down.
Yeah, that's how I do
And keep
it too.
saying down.
I just don't like it.
I know, I hate it. I hate forcing.
Out of all the things we teach dogs, down is just, I let the kids do it.
I'll do the downs, and you do the forcing.
Deal. Yeah, I don't mind that part.
All right.
Yeah, I think, going back to the duck and force fetch, I kind of want to dive into that a little more on my theory behind it. So, because I've seen, plenty of videos out there where on the table, they'll take a frozen pigeon or something and they're forcing on the table with a bird, and to each his own. I don't do any bird force unless I've got a dog that wants to tear them apart or whatever. I'd rather have ducks be like, before they're even force fetched, I want that dog to enjoy birds. So we're playing with dead ducks, good, clean ducks. Not
as little puppies.
Yeah, pigeons, all that stuff. So they enjoy birds and have an equal value to bird and bumper. Too many birds, value of the bumper goes down. Too much bumpers, value of the bird goes down.
Absolutely.
So a happy medium. Once I go through my whole force fetch process, which you can order the force fetch course, we'll put the link in the bio, see how I do it. But I'll go all the way.
He doesn't know the address.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I'm smart at some things, not at others. But walking fetch, ladder fetch, pile work. And all the while, they're getting bumpers or ducks being thrown to them in the field. When I'm done, when I am sure that that dog understands what I mean when I say fetch, that's when I apply it in the field.
Yep.
And I start with bumpers. So they, we're not worrying about their mark. We're just getting reps in the field. So maybe it's even the same mark and it's 30 yards away. Just throw it. Each time. And they deliver to hand, drop it at your feet, fetch, bump, boom, picks it up, throw it again, send them. They come back, they hold it a little longer, drop it, fetch, bump, pick it up, throw it again. All of a sudden, by the third one, they go, all that muscle memory I did in the yard comes here to the field. And now we're cool on bumpers in the water. Or excuse me, bumpers on land, then I'll do bumpers in the water, then we'll go back to throwing ducks. They drop the duck, fetch, boom. And most of the time at that point, I don't want to put pressure on it. They understand. It's muscle memory. I've taught it. I've conditioned it.
You have to do it in a way that they think is fun.
Yeah.
Or else they aren't going to willingly want to do it. Now, you can force a dog to do anything, to pick up metal, literally anything. Forcing means you're going to do it, but also for working dogs, they have to look good doing it, want to do it, have a up tail and an up personality about them. And if they don't, then they're not going to want to go out in the field and do that amazing retrieve where they've disappeared for 30 seconds. You don't know where they are. And here they come back with that cripple.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what makes them want to do it. And it's how you force that makes them want to do it. Something you had said that I thought was interesting. Two things in forcing. The transition from in your hand to maybe, this is how I do it, on your foot. Mm-hmm. So if I use a bumper or a dowel that has a little string or something that I can manipulate, a lot of things I think mistakes people make is the bumper is in your hand. The dog sees that as part of the bumper. Mm-hmm. Then you want to transition the dog, he's doing really well, to putting it on the floor. Uh-huh. People put it on the floor. Then you take your hand away.
Yep.
Okay. Where'd the hand go? I can't possibly pick up that bumper.
It's impossible.
Okay. So that's the other thing. You keep your hand on it. So if this is the bumper, keep your hand on it so that they still have your hand there. Then as they're reaching for it, take it away and then slowly take it away further by putting it on your foot so it's raised still. Yeah. Okay. That's one transition. The other that drives me crazy is when you're trying to teach a dog at the end of their forcing to come back to you with a bird. Okay, there's two different ways to do this. To me, one is successful. The dog is holding really good. I wouldn't say excellent yet. They know to.
Yeah.
But they still want to drop it and fiddle with it and pick it back up. When you throw a bird for a dog, that's their bird. If you let them go retrieve it, that becomes their bird. Bringing it back, they want to drop it and fool with it because it's their bird. So if you throw them bumpers or birds, let them like it some, get them to really like it, then sit them away from you remotely, 15 yards or so, with the bird in their mouth. You can even mechanically make them pick it up, fetch, hold, and walk away, leaving them there. Again, good obedience. Leave them there, go 15, 20 feet back. And when they come to you from a sit, it's different than coming to you uncontrollable from a retrieve.
Excitement of a retrieve, yeah.
And they are going to understand the return better. People don't realize that return makes a big difference because they're chomping, my bird. I can do what I want with it. If you do it remotely and it becomes your bird to them, they come back, they hold it, they understand how to hold it better. Mm-hmm. Come around, heel, because you've already taught the remote heel.
Yep.
Okay, you've collar conditioned at that point at a younger age for me. And then they understand coming in, healing, and are going to do it a lot cleaner than if you throw for the dog and ask them to come in. Mm-hmm. Because then you've got to hold them by the collar, bring them around, and teach them the actual muscle memory stuff, like you said before, of how to perform all those things.
Yeah.
That's one big tip. Don't continue to throw. Fetch, put it in their mouth, walk away, have them come back and deliver the bird to you.
That's a great, that's a great addition. That's a great point, man. You're the best. If I notice that I'm having some sort of issue during that session where we're starting to put it all together in the field, that's what I do too. Because what you said it before, what you're saying, work on what you're working on. So I might have been working on T pattern, and all of a sudden we're now working on sitting on the whistle. I might have been working on trying to get this delivery to hand thing, but realize that, hey, my mechanics of here, heel, sit with the thing in your mouth, now I'm going to do a little bit of a session with that.
Yeah.
You just kind of fly by the seat of your pants, if you want to say that. Not it's organized, but I mean, I was thinking I was going to do this. Now I've got to transition to this because this is where we're struggling. And
it could be, once again, I can't hit this home enough. It could be that you didn't complete whatever that discipline is at a lower level.
Yeah.
First, it's not complete. Oh, I need you to do gun dog training for my dog. Okay. How old is it? Is it force fetched yet? Oh yeah, I did that. I'm like, oh,
I redo it.
Oh,
every time.
Okay. Well, you should be able to go right to the field. I said, well, I'm going to have to check it out. And I can tell you that the dog does not perform a good heel. It doesn't sit on a whistle. It doesn't come on a whistle. It doesn't know its name. So how can I just go to the field with that dog? And I won't.
Right.
And so they're mad at me at first, but then when they get the dog back, look at what they get. They get that finished dog. Yeah, it took them longer.
Right.
But now they understand, the whole thing for it. And one other thing, you were talking about working on a T pattern. Work on what you're working on. You're sending a dog down a T, and either going out or coming back, you want to sort of teach how they should manage themselves going in and out on a whistle. So you sit them, give them the sit whistle. They maybe coast. They don't want to do it. They have a big turn to the left or a turn to the right, whatever it may be. And you say, okay, Trish is old. Work on what you're working on. Well, all of a sudden, I was working on a T pattern. I can't do that because the dog is not sitting. Don't work on it on the T pattern. Turn around, walk 20 yards over here to another field or another place in your yard where it is totally away from where you have set up that tee.
Right.
Don't make it hot at the tee.
Right.
Because what is heat in that tee? Okay? It's a hot spot. Mm-hmm. So you're teaching hot spots for going down the tee. So what have you done? You've built a brick wall halfway down your tee where you want that dog to maybe sit to take a cast. They're going to sit all right because they're not going any further back or over from that point because you've taught it on your T pattern.
Right. Or they flare the line and do all dumb stuff.
Or don't go.
Right. Or don't go.
You get a no-go and people are like, all of a sudden my dog's no-going and I don't understand.
Right.
Well, what did you do? I don't know. So let's go over it. Back up.
Yeah.
What'd you do last week to that dog that makes it want to do that?
Yep.
It's because you're not thinking through it and thinking to yourself, would I go after I was burned?
They don't put themselves in the dog's shoes in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
T-pattern is teaching, so much teaching that it really, if you think about it, is overwhelming. I mean, we're at this point, we're sending a dog, stopping a dog, casting a dog, not natural instinct.
Okay.
This is man-made.
So envision this. We do a lining drill before we do any kind of tee or any kind of other handling.
Cool. Okay.
That's where we put heat.
To go.
Okay. To go, to stop, and to cast. Okay. So that when we get to the tee, all that's taken care of and it's fluid.
Explain the drill then.
Okay. You'll love this. So the drill is just, we call it the hallway drill or the lining drill. And anybody that's been in any of the seminars that I've done, all do it now. It looks like a T without any overs. Okay. It's a straight hallway. It's about 6 feet wide. You put your poles all the way along it. So it's, you can even put like a silt fence if you want.
Okay.
All the way down. But I want them to make a mistake of going out of it so I don't block them in.
Okay.
You put the poles. Put one pole at the end where you put your bumpers. You have this pole down here so you remember where you're standing. You send the dog. Let them, just similar to a T, let them line out a couple times, become familiar with it. Then all of a sudden, you're not given any right or lefts on this. It's only straight up, can't do it with the mic, but straight up, left, straight up, right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so for anybody that I've yelled at through time, you're sitting here listening to this going, yes, yes, I know what she's talking about. So when in the field, when you see dogs in a hunt test and people are giving this as a back, why do you think dogs aren't going straight back to the bird for the people? Mm-hmm. Okay, because they're giving this and they think that's a back.
So can I, I'm going to ask you to explain it. So we've got a pole at the back pile. How far away is it?
It could be same length as any T pattern, maybe 50 yards.
Okay, 50 yards.
60.
White pole, white bumpers, mowed strip.
Give them, nope.
Okay.
Just you can.
Okay.
Give them all the answers.
So when you said that there were poles going down, is it like a barrier almost?
It is. If you have a pen, I'll talk and then I'll show it. No?
I don't. Not close enough.
Anyway, we'll keep talking and I'll be doing it.
Okay.
So it's very simple. You have poles all the way out and then you have the one at the end and...
I got you. That's what I envisioned too.
Yep. It looks like this.
Yeah, there you go.
If we can see it.
So those are all little poles. So it's like you're creating a corridor.
There are your bumpers.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. So you stop the dog along the hallway. When they stop and they don't stop between the poles, they get a burn.
Okay.
Okay. Toot, toot, toot with a burn, call them back into the hallway. Toot for sit. If they don't sit, they get a burn. Mm-hmm. Okay. Straight up, left back, cast, so that they turn and they go straight back. Mm-hmm. This is how you teach a straight back. Everybody needs that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they go back. They stay within the poles. No burning, no nothing.
Yeah.
You're free. You're safe. Okay. Coming back, same thing. Sit. If they come back and they run outside of the poles on the way back, toot, 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 burn, 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 come back inside the poles. Within 5 minutes, a dog is running straight up, straight back, sitting tight because they can't turn and have a lazy sit.
Right.
Sitting tight, casting straight back. But you've got to cast straight back.
What was the width of the corridor again?
6 feet.
Yeah. So
7
it's a
feet.
Nice and tight. Mm-hmm. And then you take them to tee?
Then I take them to tee.
Very cool.
Because then there's no burning on the tee except for motivational burning. Okay.
I understand what you mean. But
so it's fun. Your dog comes out of the tee, not beat down or feeling extreme pressure, and they're sitting there doing that tee looking excellent. Over here, they're feeling beat down. But let me tell you, when they refuse to go, and you have to give a verbal, they get a burn. This is how you teach your verbal. Mm-hmm. So after a minute, you run this thing, they're going, you put your hand up like this, they're gone.
Yeah.
As soon as your hand goes like this, they're gone, much less all the way up. And if they begin going on a silent here, no more burn. And that's how you teach your verbal. So anytime they don't take your silent, back and chase them kind of up the hallway, teach them to go. Yeah. If you have to throw, do it. Mm-hmm. But you're low level burning back and the dog goes to it. It's the most amazing completion drill for sitting, casting, returning straight. All of that is within a 6-foot corridor. What does it translate to? Running blinds later.
Exactly.
Because then you're doing straight up when you're doing your school blinds, and you're keeping your dog within a corridor, even on a school blind.
And a school blind, you mean a pattern blind?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Very good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great. And it translates to a swim by.
Yeah.
It really does. So once they get to that swim by, they're like, I got this. Yeah. Even when you do your overs. So on a swim by, go to your end, run them to the other end, teach the out pattern, and then come over here and do your force into the water and so forth. Because then once you sit, send them down there to pick up the bird, they already know what path they're going to take up here to go out.
Yeah.
You're not struggling. So as pros, we have to think of this. We got 20 dogs we're doing in a day. If we walked and met the dog and did all that, we would be out there double the time. Mm-hmm. So I just developed some of these things to get me through quicker, but more precise.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to try it on my next group of dogs. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yep. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I try and make sure that, to the point you made earlier about not making the T pattern field have predicaments over and over and over again where they've got to learn through them, and then that location becomes a stressor, mental pressure, perceived pressure. I teach it from, a different field, right? So I'm doing my sit whistle.
And that's what this is.
Yeah, but this is a cool idea to get it tighter and then apply it elsewhere.
And promote this.
Thinking. Yep. Very cool. Very cool. Let me go back here. All right. So just to recap, you mentioned it. I've watched you do your thing. A strong foundation is paramount. And for anybody listening, for just a duck dog, right? That meat dog that Matthew was talking about it for his first dog, whatever your goals are, whether it's a meat dog, a competition dog, family pet, foundation is critical to be able to enjoy the next stages.
Yeah.
So whatever those stages are, going on hikes in the woods, If you and your family just want to take the dog to a soccer game and then go for a hike afterwards, having the foundation of a good, compliant, happy dog that wants to please, but also understand there's rules behind it, imperative. You want a duck dog? Just a duck dog. Sounds easy, but who's hunting with dogs that run up and down the blind or bark at the ducks as they're coming in or break on the shot? And
obnoxious.
It's not fun to hunt with. So having that strong obedience gives you the foundation to continue to build on. And the last piece I'll mention is, what is sitting on a whistle? Obedience. What is taking the correct cast? Obedience.
Yep.
It all comes down
Coming back to heel.
Obedience. All of it, as you progress through its life and stages in training, it all comes back to asking, you've taught it, but the dog has to do what it's being told to do.
It's elementary school is all it is.
Yeah.
Don't go to high school first.
Yeah.
Or else you're going to be just gritting your teeth for the rest of that dog's life. But don't do it where it applies to their work. You've got to do it separately, like we're talking about this separate drill. Don't do it on your T pattern. Go over here 50 yards down the field and do it there where there's nothing mentally there when you go back to your T pattern. It doesn't look familiar.
Yeah. It's the same analogy of not forcing on a duck. Mm-hmm. It's all the same. You don't want to, or teaching a dog to run a blind. If you've gotten to the position to now run a blind and every time you blow the whistle, you need to put a correction on the sit. Then he takes a crappy cast. Now all of a sudden I don't know where to go or what to do from the dog's perspective. Now you're going to get popping, spinning, no going, standing there or sitting in the field going, I don't know which way you're talking, what you want me to do. Every way is wrong. Yep. So we don't want to put the cart before the horse. That foundation is critical.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Especially with your one dog that you can do right or totally mess up.
Yeah. Yeah.
One dog.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Yep.
I want to ask you a couple quick questions to clarify the new rules that are coming out in the AKC. So Master National, not this year, but the following year. So 2027? No, 2020.
26.
26.
Oregon.
They're changing the number of dogs that can enter. Is that correct?
Changing, but through necessity, because they just don't have, there's no available areas to run them.
Okay.
Our AKC sport is overwhelmingly popular. This year, we're going to have, what's H? A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 flights. In each flight is 140 some dogs.
Right.
Okay. We want to run 6 series. It's impossible to do with, let's say, 12 or 1,400 dogs. Nobody knows where it's going to cut off yet. But in Oregon, they cannot accommodate that number of dogs. We're required to go on the West Coast for next year, and that was the bid that came in. So they can't accommodate them. The only thing they know to do is limit. So MN put out to clubs, hey, how would you want to limit? Should we do split, East Coast, West Coast? Clubs said no. What was the other thing? I forget
Having a regionals.
Oh, regionals. And they voted that down. So now they're forced with limiting because something has to be done. Mm-hmm. It will be a catastrophe if there are 1,200 dogs there. The only way they know how to do it to be fair to everyone is to go, it's not limiting anybody. It's however many dogs they establish. Let's just say they establish 900 dogs can run. Well, I get one, you get one, next guy, all the way around till every single person entered has one dog entered. Then they go to 2, to 3, to 4. So the average guy that has 1 or 2 or 3 dogs go past them, they drop off. The people left with 5, 8, 10, 20 keep going around until they get to the number that they can handle.
Gotcha. Will it change? Could that number change annually? So like Oregon
I would think so.
So then maybe we come to Cooper Black the following year, and that property can hold 1,000 instead of 900.
Well, look at Texas this year. They could, and they are gonna be able to accommodate. The projection was, I think, 1,200 or something like that. Mm-hmm. They could handle that. Going the next year to Oregon, they can't handle it, so they have to do something.
Right. But let's say Cooper Black, we had 1,100 or 1,200 that year. Would they look at that as a factor to say, okay, this year we've got the property that can hold. Okay, now we go to Kentucky, and that was kind of too many, so now we're going to go back to 900, and then the following year, Texas, and it's going to be at 1,200.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's a possibility, or will they say we're going to hold it to this number?
No, I think it will be what the locations can accommodate.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
It makes it more efficient, because otherwise it will be a disaster.
Right. Yeah. The other thing, so I'm not, I don't know, whatever. Like a guy like Lyle, a guy like Steven Durrance. I mean, there's Chris Aiken, Jobman, all those guys that are bringing 20 plus dogs to the Master National. It's going to affect them. Mm-hmm. How many guys or girls are like that in our sport? Let's just throw out an estimate of people that have more than 12 dogs or 15 dogs going. 8 guys, 10 guys?
I was going to say 10 or 12, maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got Rhodey.
Yeah, there's
probably
a fair number.
Yeah. So it's going to affect, let's say, 15 to 20 people and their businesses.
Mm-hmm. But 15 to 20 people times, let's just say 20 dogs. Some might have 30, some might have 15 or 18.
Yeah, no, it's probably more than that now.
Say 25 dogs.
Yeah, it's probably a lot more than just 20 people now that I'm thinking.
Yeah. So 2 times 2 is 4. You're talking about 400 dogs easy right there, you know. And if they can accommodate 900, then roughly half of the dogs will be potentially run by people with 20-ish or more.
But this rule would not allow that, because everybody would get the 1, the 1, the 1, the 2 to 2 to 2, the 3 to 3 to 3.
Probably the best way to do it is to split or do a regional so that everybody has the chance to run.
Right.
And clubs voted that down.
Yeah, I think that if my opinion on it is nobody wanted to change. Think about the taxi drivers when Uber came popular. Yeah. Think about train companies when planes became popular. I mean, nobody wants change. Change is inevitable. It's going to affect people. I understand it. Listen, if I got Lizzie, I've had her for 5 or 6 years now, and now I got to tell Elizabeth, sorry, Lizzie didn't make the cut because she's already passed one. Let's let a new dog try or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she spent thousands and thousands of dollars all year long with me training and competing and paying for hunt tests.
Yeah.
And now I've got to whittle it down. I understand the gripe. And I think it's going to affect maybe more people will try the Grand. Maybe more people will try the SRS. Maybe more people will just get master titles and not shoot for the Master National. It may be a thing that just, what's the word? The attrition is just going to happen naturally, and it'll evolve because things have to evolve.
Yeah, and I think that the troubles they're having are sometimes good because it makes you make a decision to manage it the way you'd like to see the event run. And in doing that, you have to make a decision of limiting somehow. Mm-hmm. And don't forget, if you split it, that's limiting.
Right.
So, but you're limiting to your area or your region or however it might be, but that's up to the clubs to choose. But, it could potentially hurt me. We're going with 10 or 12 this year.
Yeah.
I'm the small pro. A lot of the things hurt me like they hurt the amateurs. Right. So I understand it. Yeah. You and I don't take 30 dogs.
Right.
Most I ever took was something like 18. And so I would be, in that group that would have to think, okay, I've got a dog with 7 plates. I've got 3 this year, 3 or 4 going with 2 plates going for Hall of Fame. Do I prioritize a young up-and-comer over one of those guys that's going to get Hall of Fame potentially?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a predicament.
It is.
It's a predicament. I mean, I don't have the answer, and I don't like picking at a problem without giving a solution. And I don't have a solution. I thought the regionals, from my perspective, I thought the regionals was going to make my life even more difficult. We're already on the road all the time. I mean, I'll have gone like 8 weeks this summer being gone at Hunt. 7 weeks.
No, I get it.
So now you throw in a regionals in June, which June I'd be kind of ready for to do because even though it's a regionals, you're still preparing for it like a national because
Then you have to be careful with heat. You can't do a June regional in Tallahassee or South Carolina.
Right.
So your regionals would have to be
above the Mason-Dixon.
Yeah, I mean, depending, maybe north it would be June, south it would be May or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like it's not a bad idea, but logistics and then organization of the clubs and organization from the actual Master National board, like it would be a cluster to host that many big events, if you will. Don't you think? But
each event would be like a hunt test. Whereas the Master National, you think about this, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and there's 140 some dogs in each one. Can you think of anything more nightmarish than that? Trying to host that, trying to be the chairman. Mm-hmm. I don't even know. I don't know how they pull it off. I mean,
it's a lot of work.
They do.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
But it's a lot of work. They meet pretty much like once a week or something and continue to talk through how they're going to do things. Bird boys in all the locations. Where are you going to find them?
Yeah.
In Oregon, one time they had people from their church working. People that were my age out there throwing birds from church that, the church lady throwing dead ducks.
Wow. That's cool.
But they did it.
Right. Nah, it's a huge event. Part of me too, like this, I'm a nostalgic kind of guy for everything. Old dogs, old guns, old decoys. And so change is difficult when you have, I mean, the first one I went to, I was just selling gear. It was the St. Louis one, like 2015, 2016. I drove all the way from here to there selling gear. And I got to watch it from an outsider's perspective. Boy, wouldn't it be someday able to go and compete at this level?
Yeah.
And they make it a spectacle. They make it special for people. So if you accomplish the goal.
And they should.
That I don't ever want to go away. So whatever they change it to, they need to make it feel like you did something above and beyond the call of duty. You are special. Your dog is special. This next 10 days of your life is special.
Yeah.
And enjoy it.
And that's what they always say. It's just an honor to have acquired the points through the year to qualify to run it, to be invited. And hey, you get an engraved invitation. How often on Facebook do you see people say, got mail?
Yeah.
And they show the picture of it.
Yeah.
It's just an honor to have all your little certificates.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. It's super. I remember getting the first ones in the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so I think if they can keep it where the feel of the event is the same, and okay, maybe everybody in essence gets to bring 12 dogs. Well, those people are just going to have to manage their business in a new way and figure it out.
Other programs limit.
Which ones? I think the Grand doesn't limit.
Doesn't limit anymore?
I don't think so.
I
know like
did.
a regular HRC weekend, you can only bring 12.
Okay.
I also don't run it, or I'm not perfect. So maybe they do limit it to 12, but I don't think so.
But see, AKC doesn't limit anywhere. They don't pose those restrictions. And so that's why we have that many more dogs qualified to run.
I also think we've gotten a lot better at it.
I know we have.
Right? Like us training dogs from amateurs to pros, the caliber of animal is drastically better that, a normal weekend hunt test. I've been to 3 this year, and 2 of the 3 were Humdinger Master National setups. Like no trickery, badass setups where you're like, dang, we're going to have a dog here. You can't have a below average senior just try and master. You know, it's got to be good.
Were they above the Mason-Dixon line?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've ran some Humdingers down in South Carolina too this year.
Yep.
But I mean, it just comes down to our training and skill level, and the dogs that we're breeding and training are reaching such high standards that it makes sense that 1,200 dogs are capable of getting that goal.
And listen, the dogs that I run, I want my clients to come out and learn how to run.
Yeah.
Because believe me, if they came out and ran their own dogs at MN, then we wouldn't have to worry about the limit too. Or at the amateur. You know, it would be great. And so many people come out and work with us. I know they come out and work with you. Today we have friends coming out that are going to be running with us when we train. And people learn by going and training with other people. Forget that they're going to train with us, but just with other people where they throw in their ideas of how to do a certain thing. But when amateurs work with pros, when pros allow you to come and train with them, you learn so much. And that's what we need to do. And I think a lot of people are doing that. Therefore, dogs are better.
Yeah. I'm not saying that this is what we should do. What if the split was Master National and Master Amateur? So an amateur can't compete at the Master National, and obviously a pro can't compete at Master Amateur. Would that affect numbers in a way where it'd be like, hey, you know, Ben and Hunter this year went to the amateur and passed?
I don't know
Lizzie,
the stats.
Now you got to do, you know what I'm saying? Because there was only, 120, 140 dogs at the amateur this year?
Yeah, and I don't know how many amateur-run dogs run MN.
That would be an interesting stat. You know, is it 200? Is it 300? Is it 500?
I can find out for you.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool to come back on the next episode and say, by the way, you remember this episode, we talked about numbers.
Yeah, I'll find that out.
Because that could put it down into the 900 range. Let's say 300 and 300 just go and do the amateur, and 900 did the Master National.
So the bylaws, which I am not fluent on for MN, in fact, I'm not good at all with it, but learning, apparently the bylaws were written so many years ago, 27, 28 years ago, where it didn't have to worry about accommodating for the numbers.
Right.
So it was pros and amateurs can come, and it even said pros can't judge. I forget what some of the other things are, but you can't just decide. If we had the board of directors of MN here, they couldn't say on this podcast, hey, that's a great idea. Let's do that. Right. They have to put it, because of the way the bylaws were written, they have to put it before the clubs.
Right. Across the country.
Across the country.
Yeah, so, and I'm not saying that that's what we should do. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, we have to come up with something.
Yeah. Because I think it is amazing for the amateurs to come to Master National. Like, it is an experience that I want everybody to try someday and aspire to. It's
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just go.
That's why I don't have a solution, because there isn't a good one where everybody wins. People are going to lose. The Roadies, the Lyles, the Stevens, the Retts, the Jobmans, they're going to lose with this.
Well, and then also, let's think about this. It promotes better dog care by doing this. People then have less dogs that they have to worry about. But also, what about these guys that you mentioned? They have their really good assistants. Then the assistants run 15 dogs. They run 15 dogs.
It still doesn't.
You could break it up like that.
I understand that, but there's still going to be a cap, right? So it doesn't matter whose name is on the dog. It still can only have X number of dogs.
Yeah, but you can have, say, 15 then, and I could have 15. If we both work together, I work for you, you have 30 dogs. Well, then I run 15 of them, and we'll get at least 12 or 13 of those 15 in.
I gotcha. Yeah, that could be. That could be. Yeah, I don't have a solution. I don't envy the decision makers on the process, because no matter what, they're going to be the bad guy.
Very tough.
Yep. So it's interesting. But anyways, let's go out and train some dogs. What do you think?
Love to.
I am looking forward to spending a day with you. Everybody who tuned into this episode, appreciate your time. Week in, week
Thanks
out.
for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad you decided to do this with me. This is fun. So thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next episode.